Hello everyone, welcome to Synapse. My name is Dr. Troy Spurl, CEO of Synapse Center for Health and Healing. Today I'm here to talk to you about our cognitive health program. This is a program to help with memory. So many of us have memory issues throughout life. When we're studying for tests early in life, we can start to have a little bit of sleep deprivation and some temporary memory issues. As we get going later in life, it can actually start to build off of that. The biggest concern we have right now, though, is that 2 out of 3 people above the age of 80 currently have some form of dementia, and so we know that those numbers are increasing. We also know that a large part of memory loss has to do with how we manage blood sugar. And one of the fastest growing diseases in North America right now is diabetes and diabetes or blood sugar related disorders. So the estimates of the incidence of dementias and more serious memory loss, those numbers are skyrocketing, and we're seeing people being diagnosed at a much younger age, even early onset Alzheimer's in people in their 30s and 40s. So with our cognitive program, we're looking at measuring people way before it becomes something serious, number one. And the good news is there's a lot you can do to prevent it. There's a lot of research now, and we have a lot of breakthroughs just in the last 5 years. So the sooner we actually can assess people, the sooner we can do something about it, and the easier it is. So I'm going to go through just a little bit when it comes to the different areas that can impact us and cause memory loss. Number one, again, when we're younger, it can be diagnosed as more of a mild cognitive impairment. You know, the things like, I can't remember where my keys are, or I don't remember why I just walked into the kitchen. Things like that are common, so I don't want you to freak out if that's happening. They're especially common if you're a new parent. So if you've just had kids, you are going to have some gaps in your memory here because of the lack of sleep and the stress, and moms because of the demand nutritionally on the body. So don't worry about that. When we start to see some changes that are a little bit more long-term, or things are happening a little more, that's when we want you to actually look into what's going on here. So I'm going to go through the 6 different areas that cause problems with our memory. And within those 6 areas, we have identified 37 of them that can actually cause and trigger more serious Alzheimer's dementia, whether you are genetically susceptible or not. So, first one is inflammatory. Inflammation is rampant through the body with a lot of people at a very young age. It causes memory loss eventually. A lot of the brain chemicals we need are in the digestive tract, and inflammation from a poor diet can really speed up that process. Number 2 is glycolytic, blood sugar regulation. In fact, there was a time when they called Alzheimer's type 3 diabetes, or diabetes of the brain, because so many people had insulin and blood sugar problems, and they couldn't deliver the proper amount of sugar, which our brain needs for fuel. So that's like trying to drive your car with no gas in the tank. A lot of times that's what memory loss is. It's basically trying to drive the brain with no gas in the tank, decrease oxygen or decrease sugar. Again, to go back on the inflammatory part of it, flames from a fire will pull oxygen out of the environment to feed that fire. The same thing is true in our body. If you have inflammation in the body, it's like pulling oxygen right out of your brain. Number 3 is atrophic. Atrophic is basically changes in hormones. So when the thyroid becomes compromised, or even changes in testosterone or estrogen, menopause in women can trigger problems like this. So any type of significant hormone change, one way or the other, can induce some level of problems with memory and brain. 4th one is very common, and that's toxic. So when we are full of toxins, that has consequences to our nerves and our brain. Now, our body can detoxify, but as we age, we lose the ability to detoxify as efficiently, number 1. Number 2, we're exposed to way more toxins in our environment than ever before. In fact, over 84,000 toxins have been identified that haven't actually been assessed to see how much damage they're doing to our body. So a toxin is basically anything your body absorbs but cannot use. So if it's foreign to the body, it can be a toxin. If it's not foreign to the body, but your body forgets how to use it or doesn't know how to use it because of nutrient deprivation somewhere else, that can be now classified as a toxin. An example is a food allergy. If someone has lost the ability to digest gluten or wheat and it causes inflammation, it is technically now a toxin to their body. So toxins are very, very important. The fifth one is trauma. Trauma is something where if we have an accident, it can cause leaky gut, leaky brain, concussions. These things can induce problems that lead to memory issues. So a severe concussion in your 20s may lead to temporary memory loss. The problem is once you've had that occur, if it is not fixed properly, it can lead to earlier onsets of more serious cognitive problems later in life. The last one I'm going to talk about is more of a vascular. The genetics of cardiovascular issues and the genetics of Alzheimer's are very similar. So when you have issues with cardiovascular disease in the family history with Alzheimer's, you want to start treating that early on. In your 30s, 40s, or 50s can help prevent the onset of Alzheimer's. We can see a lot of need for omega-3 fish oils and vitamin D and other things that help with our vascular system, including methylators. So making sure your cardiovascular system is protected is crucial. We now know that statins and other medications that might help with blood pressure or reducing cholesterol is not enough to help you with the memory issues later in life. And that's because the root cause of what's causing the vascular disease has not been addressed. So again, very important to take a look at early in life if you're having any concerns about cognition or if there's a family history of strong memory issues. Please do not hesitate to check in and check out our cognition memory program, our healthy brain program online. There's a lot of value there.